Thank you. Yeah, so I'm presenting Snicket, and my name's Matthew Wild. I've been working on open source and open standards, and specifically in the domain of open online communication and XMPP since a long time ago. I'm in general just very passionate about making this kind of digital freedom accessible to non-technical people, because often it's restricted to people who know how to set things up and so on. So uh, Henrietta, just before me, gave a good example of the state of things today, where you have WhatsApp and a lot of closed messaging silos, and it's a real problem for people who are trying to push this digital freedom out to their friends, their family, their contacts, and the current situation is people are forced often to accept these terms and conditions, for example, WhatsApps, that they don't necessarily want to, but they feel they have to be able to communicate with their friends and family. So we've been working on Snicket, which is a messaging app. It's based on open standards XMPP, and it's currently for Android and iOS. It is based on the open XMPP network, so there's no phone number required. You can have multiple accounts, so you can have one for your family and one for your work, and so on. It has all the same modern features that you would expect, the ability to share media and have audio and video calls. It's end-to-end encrypted, but the important feature is it's federated, so anyone has the ability to self-host or choose a hosting provider for their Snicket instances, and they have the ability to communicate between each other. So as I mentioned, this is all based on XMPP. It's been around for quite a while. It's an open standard for online communication, and it describes how software interoperates, and it's all publicly documented so that anyone can participate. And there's a lot of open source built around it. It was most famously used by Google when they announced Google Talk, and that ran for quite a while, but they eventually shut it down when they changed their messaging strategy again. So Snicket's an attempt to bring that back again and put it back into people's hands, but this time without the big tech leading the way. So DAPSI allowed us to, as part of this, they gave us the funding so that we could implement a way that people could migrate their account data from one XMPP provider to another. That includes Snicket or other XMPP-based services. And so we started out by defining a standard data format for the account data, including your contacts and your message history and things like that. And then we implemented that into Snicket and into Portability, which is an open source XMPP server that anyone can install and use. And a lot of people do. There are thousands of deployments online, and people use it every day. So for the future of Snicket, we've set ourselves up as a not-for-profit, and to keep us sustainable, we're working on a hosted platform so that people can sign up and invite their families, for example, and message each other. And honestly, it's working out fine for a lot of people. As an alternative, my own family have switched over, and it's been great, because that was ultimately my initial goal. Was I wanted to move my family off WhatsApp onto something more open source and freedom respecting. And as part of this, we're expanding the modern XMPP ecosystem. So everything we do is open source and published online, and people can self-host it. But thanks to the hosting platform, they're not forced to do that if they aren't into self-hosting. And we have some interesting partnerships. And of course, we have funding from NGI, DAPSI, and personal individual donations as well. So that's all for now. Thank you very much for everything. Thanks DAPSI, especially for funding the project, and everyone organizing this event.